Hello, and welcome to the second episode of a series called Age-Friendly Bay Area, in which we explore the wide range of programs and services that are available for older adults in the Greater Bay Area. My name is Scott McMullen, co-founder and board member of Villages of San Mateo County, and I will be hosting this series. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to give a brief description of Villages. During the past 20 years, approximately 300 grassroots community-based nonprofits called Villages have been launched around the country, all with the mission of helping older adults to continue to live independent, vibrant, and fulfilling lives in the homes and communities they love. This month, February of 2022, marks the 20th anniversary of the Village movement, and we'll be hearing more about Villages in upcoming episodes. But today, it's my pleasure to introduce Susan Houston, the Vice President of Older Adult Services with Peninsula Family Service. They're a premier nonprofit that has provided valuable services to Bay Area communities for over 70 years. Susan, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much, Scott. It's great to be here.
Well, glad to have you. So, Peninsula Family Service is a nonprofit that's been around for quite a while. Can you tell us how they got started and what they do today?
Sure. So Peninsula Family Service started in 1950 as a very small counseling organization. There were, I think, 2 therapists. And the idea was to provide support to families after World War II, where service people came back and, you know, they wanted a place to talk about issues going on with their family. So we started out just as a counseling organization, and we've grown. We currently have about 150 employees. We have some counseling, but our real focus is early learning, financial empowerment, and older adult services.
Great. Okay. So it's Peninsula Family Service, says it all right there, family, the wide range of ages. So I'm glad to see that you cover it all. And that really speaks to a concept that we've been learning more and more about in recent years called age-friendly. And at first, people think that means for older adults specifically, the aged ones. But actually, age-friendly means a community that serves all ages.
Yeah, and I like to look at it that way, that age-friendly includes everybody. Yes.
Well, maybe we'll look at some of the specific services that are offered by PFS, Peninsula Family Service. One of them is called Peer Counseling, and we actually have a slide that I think they can put on the screen. And maybe you can talk a little bit to peer counseling for older adults.
Sure. The Peer Counseling Program is a program that we started operating in 2008. And it's a program where we train volunteers who are 55 years and older to become peer counselors for individuals who can benefit from the service. We do one-on-one and group types of programs. And currently we have about 13 groups. We took over the program from the County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we were charged with really serving the underserved population. So Spanish speaking, Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese speaking, the Filipino population, and the LGBT older adults in the community. And we currently partner with the Pride Center and provide services there for older adults too.
It's an awesome program, and volunteers, I believe, are the peer counselors, so they must get a lot of training and so on.
We have a great training program. Everyone goes through 35 hours of training, learning about, you know, starting a counseling with an individual, how to connect with people, resources in the community, grief. We bring in speakers who are experts in the field, who train our peer counselors. After they complete the training, they're fingerprinted at the highest level, and then they are connected with an individual. And the commitment is 1 year of service serving one person. But many of our participants have been peer counselors for years.
Wonderful. So another program that you have, and I think it's a fairly recent one, is called You Talk, We Listen. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. We found that during COVID, these last 2 years, a lot of people were calling us and they really wanted something more professional than our peer counseling. Peer counseling is great. The peer counselors are wonderful, but they really needed a higher level of service. So we started tracking how many people were calling, and we got quite a few. about the same time this last fall, Mills Peninsula Hospital Foundation contacted us and said, we really want to support mental health for older adults.
Okay.
So we created this program. It's short-term counseling. People can come into our office in San Mateo. They could receive counseling in a Zoom-like type of setting, which is HIPAA compliant,
Yep.
or even on the telephone.
Is there a fee for this?
There is a fee, $15 copay, which is waived for people who cannot afford it.
Okay.
Our counselor sees people who are English speaking and Spanish speaking, can meet with individuals, couples, and even family members where there is someone who's 55 years and older.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you have a wide range of services. I'm going to move along to some of the other
course.
ones. There's a wonderful place in Redwood City called the Fair Oaks Adult Activity Center. Can you tell us about that?
It's one of my favorite places. Fair Oaks Adult Activity Center is a center where we really focus on wellness for people who are 60 and older. It's a drop-in center where pre-COVID we were serving about 4,000 people a year with exercise classes, lifelong learning, wonderful healthy breakfast, lunches. We partner with master gardeners and have a wonderful organic garden out and back.
I think we'll see a picture of that later.
Yeah. So these days we provide grab-and-go meals to about 35 people a day. We are starting to open up, and we have yoga and Tai Chi on site. Sequoia Hospital provides a monthly blood pressure check for people who would like that. And we partner with a lot of providers in the community to serve older adults.
Great. Yeah, it's a wonderful center.
Yeah.
So you have something also that's called the Information and Assistance Hotline, and we've got a slide that is going to show a telephone number. If somebody calls that number, what is this hotline all about?
They will connect with a live person Monday through Friday from about 7:30 to 4. And this person specializes in resources for older adults. So a family member, an individual who's looking for something themselves can call and talk about a resource. The person who provides the service will make sure that they get what they're looking for, follow up and call back and see that everything is fine. And yeah, we've served a lot of people. And during COVID, this person also connected people with well-being calls. So anyone who just wanted to connect with somebody once a week in the community could do so.
Great. Okay. So moving to another fairly recent program for Peninsula Family Service that has a whole different bent to it. It's called Got Wheels, and we've got a slide on that. What can you tell us about Got Wheels?
Got Wheels is a great program currently funded by Caltrans where we provide rides, subsidized rides, 6 rides per month, where members only pay $5 and they can travel throughout the 12 cities from Burlingame north and on the coast side. And only pay $5. So usually a ride to San Francisco Airport might be $70 one way. If someone from Half Moon Bay wants to go to the airport, it's $5.
So who are the drivers and the cars for this program?
We partner with Sarah Yellow Cab, and we like it because it's an on-demand program. So if you want to go out Thursday night at 11 p.m., you could get a ride. So it really meets the needs, and we think it's important for people just to get out of the house. It's not that they need to go to a doctor's appointment, which is good, but any getting out of the house is helpful because we want older adults out in the community.
Yeah, definitely. And I've heard many times from older adults who can no longer drive that when they lost their ability to drive, they felt like they lost part of their life. And so
That's
just
true.
getting out and doing all the normal things of living are so important.
Yeah.
And we should point out that there is a wonderful paratransit agency in San Mateo County, Got Wheels. I mean, sorry, you've got the Got
We've
Wheels. It's called Ready Coast and Ready Wheels. And they do like 300,000 rides a year pre-pandemic, so it's a huge service and very good service. But the on-demand type of rides that Got Wheels adds is really important addition to the overall transportation programs.
I agree. And for Ready Wheels, many of our participants at Fair Oaks take Ready Wheels to get to our center. So yeah, we depend on them
Great.
too.
Okay. Another program is called Help at Hand. And there's a catchy little phrase that you've got in there you can tell us about.
Yeah, Help at Hand is a program where it's funded by an innovation grant through Mental Health Services Act, where there are 15 different sites throughout the state of California that are really looking at how apps, wellness apps or mental health apps can support populations, various populations. So we're providing older adults for this program and looking at what app would be the best for older adults. And we've found one called WISA.
Okay.
So there will be sometime in March about 7,000 licenses out there for free usage of this app. And I'll let you know so you can spread the word. But we also learned, with older adults, before using an app, they really need to learn how to use technology.
There you go.
So, yeah. So what we've been doing for the last 2 years is we've been providing Get Appy workshops throughout the community, either via Zoom or in person. So people learn how to use their apps, can use their smart devices, use them safely.
What if a person has never used a smart device before and doesn't have one? Are they available in the county?
There is a program that's coming down from San Mateo County Aging and Adult Services where they will have some devices available. We were very lucky to get some funding from Sequoia Healthcare District to get free tablets for about 24 of our participants at Fair Oaks, and through Behavioral Health and Recovery Service, some tablets for our peer counselors and also for Get Appy workshop participants. And we're getting, I think, about 20 more.
I can imagine it opens a whole new world for people that have never been able to use the internet or to do Zooming or FaceTime before. So this is a great thing.
It's wonderful.
So, and it crosses what is sometimes called the digital divide, especially common amongst older people. Have you found that there's great reward in seeing that leap being taken?
Oh yeah, it's so important that we have services like this where we not only help provide devices, but free broadband or low-cost broadband that's not really slow, that's something that's usable. But also people need training. And they also need a place to troubleshoot. And, if they have a problem or they can't, something's wrong with their laptop, they can call someone. And we're lucky that in our county or close by, we have Senior Planet operated through Avenidas. And they have a call line where you can call and they'll help you work through any kind of technology problem. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So today we have kind of a unique economy, low unemployment, a lot of businesses need workers, a lot of our older adults might be able to use a little extra income, and yet we don't know and we don't see that much opportunity for older adults to apply for and get part-time jobs or even full-time jobs. You have something called Second Careers at Peninsula Family Service. How does that program work?
Well, there's several programs within Second Careers. The first one is called the Senior Community Service Employment Program, which we operate in 4 different counties: San Mateo, Santa Clara, San Benito, and Santa Cruz County.
Okay.
And it's a work experience program for low-income people, 55 years and older, and it's a way to get people back into the workforce. So people are placed at nonprofit or public agencies where they're paid to train on the job. And then once they've completed their training and they're ready, they get assistance in finding a job.
So you talk about 55 plus as one of the requirements, but also low income. And low income, I think you told me, was defined as 125% of the federal poverty level, which is very, very low, like $15,000 or so. Hardly anybody's going to qualify for that in the Bay Area if they've got some income already. So what can we do for people that are making more money than that would like to get career counseling?
So in Santa Clara County, we have the Mature Workers Program,
Okay.
where we help people individually, through career counseling, find a job, or also we have a lot of different groups where we help people, get ready for the workforce and learn how to interview and things like that. It would be great to have more types of service like this, specifically in San Mateo County. I think we need, some type of job match-up program where people can just get help in finding a part-time or a full-time job.
I am hearing that. We need a job match program in San Mateo County. It's very important.
Yeah,
Thank
many
you.
people are working into their 70s, 80s. So, yeah,
Okay, good. Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
Let's see. There's another slide we're going to put up that I think shows some pretty cool activities that go on at the Fair Oak Center. Can you talk about those?
Sure. That is a part of, you can see our garden. And what we do is we, with the master gardeners, grow a lot of different vegetables that are then given out to older adults in the community. And this last year, we harvested about 800 pounds of vegetables, which we distributed every Friday at Veterans Memorial Senior Center and at the Fair Oaks Adult Activity Center.
Great.
So people can just pick and choose what they want. Right now, we're preparing the garden for spring planting.
Excellent. And gardening is about a lot more than just the produce that comes out of it. All kinds of neat interactions go on when people are gardening together.
I think it's really healthy. It's great exercise. You're around other people. You get vitamin D. So yeah, it's wonderful. We've had our garden at Fair Oaks for over 15 years.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on to some other more general questions
Sure.
that may or may not directly result in or relate to services at PFS. This one is kind of fun. You and I have talked about it before, and that's the terminology to be used for an older adult. Is there anything wrong with the word senior? We've got senior centers, but a lot of people are shying away from the word senior now. Why is that?
I think there's a stigma to the word senior. I think of when people say senior moment, that means that you aren't thinking. I like to use the word older adult or people over the age of 60 to define this population. I think older people are adults still, and let's call them out as adults. So I think it's just important. And I think maybe because I'm a baby boomer, that makes me think that way.
Yep. Okay. I saw an organization recently called the Second 50 Initiative. So kind of implies that, when you get to the age 50, now you're just going to the second half. I love that.
And I think in the Latinx community, they say the third stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So senior might have a stigma, you said, and we have heard that there's a kind of the most recent bias, and that is called ageism. Is that really a big deal in our country now?
Oh, it is. It's one of the still acceptable isms around. So you can see it. I see it all the time in TV commercials. It's still acceptable to make fun of older people.
And unfortunately, I think some of us older people kind of bring it on ourselves when we talk, as you said, about a senior moment, or we might make jokes about how it feels to be aging, and well, I woke up this morning, at least that's a good thing, I'm not dead yet.
Oh yeah.
And so we have to learn probably not to be joking about age and to call people out when they make an ageism type of comment.
I try to do that. I've received some ageism training from the Old School Clearinghouse, wonderful program, and it's really interesting.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's see. There's a new initiative in San Mateo County that I've heard a bit about, and I love the concept, but I think you're a lot more familiar with it, and that's the Age Forward Coalition. How did that get started, and what is it?
The Age Forward Coalition is a coalition made up of providers of service for older adults and individuals who are older adults themselves. And the goal is to really raise advocacy for more funding for services. Currently in San Mateo County, older adults 60 and older make up about 20% of the population, but the funding it's not the same. And I think countrywide, philanthropic help for older adult services is about 2%
Wow.
compared to other funding,
Yeah.
other types of
Great
programs.
imbalance in the funding that comes for
Yeah.
really a significant part of our population. Okay, are there any age-forward initiatives within that coalition that you'd like to talk about?
Well, we have had a wonderful conference online where we talked about the Master Plan on Aging, the California State Master Plan on Aging, and we brought in elected representatives to talk about how they will support in our area the Master Plan on Aging and the goals of it.
I saw that. In fact, Zoom has made it possible for people to attend a lot more meetings than they used to.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
and I also saw, I think this was an Age Forward initiative, was a program that you had recently talking to people about mature workers and helping find jobs for older adults.
That is actually with Joe Simidian, Supervisor
Okay.
Simidian's office, and Peninsula Family Service, and Nova Works,
Okay.
who did
Yeah,
that. But
good job.
yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have to talk about today? If you don't mind me asking a personal kind of question, how did you get into service for older adults? Because you've been working in that area for a long time now.
Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to work in the nonprofit field. I have a BA in social work, a BA in Spanish, some additional master's level training in counseling. And I started out as a job developer for people with disabilities. And I, did that for a couple of years, and then a job opening came at Peninsula Family Service for a job developer for older workers. And I applied for the job and was hired, and I've been there ever since.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Peninsula Family Service is one of the organizations around that I love partnering with. I think you guys just do a marvelous job. And you personally have attended most of the Commission on Aging meetings, which I also do as a commissioner.
Right.
And it's just great to see that you're so active in the community. What other things have you got going on outside of your immediate job that keep you active with older adults?
Well, on a personal level, we have a neighbor who's 98 years old, and she has her own kind of circle of care to support her aging in place. So that's one thing we do. Also, I have my mother is in assisted living, and so I'm very involved in that. But I also have other activities. I love yoga, and I'm a flamenco dancer.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we discovered before the program today that you and I have something in common.
Right.
Back in the early 70s, I took a year abroad to study in Germany, and roughly the same time you took a year in
Spain.
How was that?
It was wonderful. It was great. My Spanish improved quite a lot.
Is that where you learned flamenco?
No, actually, I didn't take that up until after I came back here. But, it's one thing to study in school a language, but when you're actually forced to speak it every day and, live with the family, you really pick it up out of necessity. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think studying abroad is something I'd recommend really for everybody that has the opportunity. It really broadens your horizons, makes you more aware of other cultures and other ways of thinking.
I agree. It's so important. Yeah.
Right. What other services at PFS would you like to familiarize us with today, or did we kind of cover the gamut?
Well, we also operate early learning programs.
Oh,
We have
okay.
8 different centers throughout San Mateo County, 2 that are actually in shelters where we help kids prepare to be successful in school, and also help their parents while caring for them while they're at work or looking for work.
Yep.
We serve about 800 families within that program. We also have financial empowerment, which is a variety of programs that really are to help people learn about credit and gain credit. We have lending circles where people get together, everybody puts in $50, and once a month someone gets all the money. It's a wonderful program, but we also help people get loans. for cars so that they can, successfully get to work and pick up their kids on time and all of that. And we do a lot of instruction in credit.
I saw something about going electric as part of your car encouragement program.
Yes, so not just regular cars, but electric cars too. We have a special program where people get, I believe it's $7,000 in order to purchase a car,
Good.
an electric car.
So it takes a lot to run an organization the size of yours. It requires funding. You want to tell us about some of your big funders and just acknowledge them?
We are so lucky to have the wonderful support in our older adult services of San Mateo County Aging and Adult Services, Behavioral Health and Recovery Services, Sequoia Healthcare District,
Love them.
Peninsula Healthcare District, and now the Mills Peninsula Hospital Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, those are our main funders.
Okay, and the members of the public can make donations
Oh,
at any
yes.
time, and I imagine that makes up a certain significant part of your income.
It really does. We're really appreciative of all of the donations we get from individuals too. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, we have about a minute left. Do you have a message that you'd like to share with us or share with the viewers?
I think aging is a, lifelong process. And it's really important to take advantage of services that are out there to help you age well in each step of your life. So I'm really happy to be part of this part of the process at, towards the end of life and support people and their wellness for as long as possible.
That's great. And I want you to know that I appreciate so much all the work that Peninsula Family Service does.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. And I want to thank you for being on the program today, of course. I also want to thank KMVT 15 and the amazing studio crew who are here today doing everything behind the scenes to make a production like this possible. Thank you all at home for watching this. I hope you join us next month when we talk with Charlotte Dixon, the Executive Director for Village Movement California. Hope to see you then. Goodbye for now.